Greetings, my friends. So today we're covering a story about CNN agreeing to pay Don Lemon $25 million for this mistake. Take a look.
She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Prime for what?
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s. I don't necessarily.
40s. Oh, I got another.
I'm not saying
decade.
I agree with that. So I think she has to be careful about saying that politicians aren't in their prime.
We need to qualify. Are you talking about prime for like childbearing, or are you talking about prime for being president?
What the facts are.
Pow, pow! And they shot the messenger. Dead in the heart, okay? So Don Lemon was actually fired for these comments. What were the exact comments? Him saying that Nikki Haley, presidential candidate and nominee, was past her prime because she was in her 20s, 30s, and he also included his 40s, which, by the way, is a very, very conservative comment from this liberal news anchor, okay? But let's get into the news article here by People's Magazine. I'll read it word for word, and I'll tell you my exact opinion on this. People magazine titled the article, Don Lemon paid $24.5 million in separation from CNN. And then it said the network reportedly agreed to the back pay of the former CNN anchor following his April 2023 ousting. Okay, and Don Lemon and CNN have reportedly reached an agreement since this ousting last year. The former CNN anchor and the news network reached a separation deal that would pay Lemon approximately, get ready, $24.5 million, reports the Wrap. The total is reportedly the amount of money Lemon, who is 57 years old, who I guess, I don't know, is he past his prime? I don't know. Only women, I guess, right? Was set to receive if his final contract ended in 3.5 years, okay? Representatives from Lemon had no comment when reached by People on Monday. After 17 years with CNN, the longtime anchor announced his firing from the network in an X, formerly known as Twitter, post in April 2023. And he said, I was informed this morning by my agent I have been terminated by CNN. I am stunned, Lemon wrote. Okay. Shortly after Lemon's post, CNN public relations team released a counter statement accusing Lemon of misrepresenting what occurred. And they said Don Lemon's statement about this morning's event is inaccurate. How inaccurate was it? Now you guys are paying him $25 million. CNN Communications tweeted he was offered an opportunity to meet with management, but instead released a statement on Twitter. The journalist's separation from the network followed his exit from CNN's This Morning in February 2023. Lemon received backlash for his comments he made about Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley being past her prime. He made his remarks on the politician's age during a segment of the show with co-hosts Poppy Harlow and Caitlin Collins. After the Haley comment, Lemon publicly apologized and agreed to participate in a formal training. Which, by the way, I don't know what they're talking about formal trainings. People just do this for publicity, but I don't know if it really changes anything. Anyway, it continues and was back on air after less than a week. 2 months later, Lemon conducted a confrontational interview with Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy, I don't know how you say his last name, which was rumored to have left several CNN leaders exasperated and contribute to the channel's decision to let him go. Okay. In July 2023, Lemon broke his silence in an interview with Rudy Williams of ABC 24. And he said, I have a responsibility not only as a journalist, but as an American to tell the truth. Lemon said, and to abide by the promises of the Constitution, because the Constitution says a more perfect union, not a perfect union. Then he continues, I'm not a perfect person. No one is, Lemon added. In order to fulfill the promise of the Constitution, we have to stand up for what is right. We have to stand up for the truth. I guess the truth being that women are past their prime. I mean, it's a red pill truth. And what these ladies said it very honestly is like, what do you mean? In what context past their prime? Like past their childbirthing years? Yes. So in a sexual marketplace prime, they're not. But anyway, in addition, they said, additionally, shortly after Lemon was ousted, co-anchor Collins 31 took over former anchor Chris Cuomo's 9 p.m. time slot, and Phil Mattingly then replaced the two former CNN This Morning co-anchors and worked alongside Harlow 41 And Harlow bid farewell to the show after it wrapped earlier this month. More recently, Lemon announced last month that he is launching a self-titled newscast, The Don Lemon Show, which will stream first on the social media site X. Don Lemon Show airs on March 11th. So, a mouthful. Shout out to People Magazine for that. But so, here's the idea. You know, CNN went very woke on Don Lemon. They fired him for his red pill-like comments on women, especially female presidential candidate Nikki Haley, which I thought was just, it was out of poor taste. I see why they had an issue with it. It was against their fan base ultimately. I'm surprised Don Lemon's getting paid that much money for a 3-year contract. So kudos to him for negotiating a great deal with his agent. Because it seems like anyone could do that job, really. He's just a talking head, right? But so for him to contribute that and then defend it, saying that he was standing on the truth. What is the truth, Don Lemon? She's running for president. She's not running to be someone's wife, right, or bachelorette. So I don't know what he was referring to. But I do see his side of the boat where he's talking about maybe women who are past this ideal desirability stage shouldn't run for president. I think the minimum age to run for president is like 35 or so. So, yeah, I kind of see both sides. I see why CNN had to do that because they're on the left, right? And he said something very conservative. And I don't know why Don Lemon said that, but I see the point he made where he was just talking about the obvious, which is that women past a certain age are not as desirable as they are when they're in their 20s and 30s. And then he also included the 40s just to make things nice and coddly and sweet and to, you know, soften the blow. But what do you guys think about this? Was this right about Don Lemon? Ultimately, it cost CNN $25 million, and they lost him as an anchor. So it's a complete loss to them, in my opinion, because this is like paying out a contract for something that's not delivered. But kudos to Don Lemon. This is big for him. I don't know if this was a lawsuit or this was something that they had to agree upon. But looks like I might become a news anchor one day. But like this video, subscribe to the channel. Check out some of my other videos. I'll talk to you guys soon. Until next time.